So thanks all for jumping on this evening. It shouldn't be too long tonight. I just wanted to have a bit of a chat about women empowering women. We often have events when we're talking about our business where we're talking about health or we're talking about business opportunity. And I thought I was kind of reflecting a little bit, and I joined this business over 3 years ago. And I know why I joined it. I joined it because I had an interest in health and an interest in well-being. But the reality of why I've stayed is much more to do with the people I've met along the way. And when I think about the people I've met along the way, 98% of those have been women. And I think we're in such a day and age where it's really important to be giving each other love, giving each other praise, and really empowering each other. It's not a competition anymore. It's now the more we do together, the more impact we have. So I think doing a little bit of an event about women empowering women, or empowering women empower women, I suppose the title was essentially. And I thought about that, and I thought about some of the girls that have empowered me, or I feel empowered by, and I've seen empowering other people. So that's why tonight I'll have a bit of a chat with you all later. But we've got Sophie and Beck and Wednesday as well. Who are all at different levels within our business. We've all got very, very different backgrounds, but I thought it might be nice for us all to come together and talk tonight in that sense. So very, very basically, I was just going to say, was there anything else I was going to add there? I'm just going to check I've not missed anything. So I think we might start with Beck tonight. So Beck, I'm going to unmute you. So if you can just introduce yourself, maybe tell everybody kind of your empowering story. And I've got a few little questions that I'll ask you just at the end.
Okay, so hi everyone, my name's Beck, and I'm a QNMD in the business, and I have been in Juice Plus now for about 3 years. So basically the reason I started was because after having my twins, I've got 3 children, and after having the twins, they were about 2, I really felt like I was going insane being at home, and I had to go back to work. And I found what I thought could be a really awesome career opportunity. Unfortunately, by the time you've paid for 3 children to be in daycare and you're working 9 to 5, I was literally, I think, walking home with about $150 a week in my pocket. So it was, and then my kids started getting sick, which Josh, especially my eldest, he had like, no one knew what was wrong with him. Doctor after doctor after doctor. In the end, it turned out that he had leaky gut, which was also health related, which was sort of another reason why I sort of got into the business. But after 6 months of having to be off sick, being at work, then being off sick, I either had mummy guilt or employee guilt, because, you know, I was either sending my child to daycare, dosed up on Panadol, hoping I'd get a couple of hours work in, or I was feeling guilty that I was having to let down a team at work. And I knew I was never going to be up for any promotion the amount of time I'd had off sick. So I quit my job, but we still needed money. And I did something that I thought I would never do in a million years at the age of 16. And at 32, I found myself in drive-through Macca's. Yep. That was an all-time low for me, I think. And we didn't have 2 cars at the time. So because I was one of the oldest people there, obviously. Most people have left Macca's by the time they're 18. And so they put me on the morning shift. And so I would cycle from my house at 3 o'clock in the morning to work in the pouring rain sometimes. If it was really wet, then my husband would have to get the kids out of bed and drive me to work. And then I'd have to cycle home. And I just like, something has got to change, because this is not how I envisioned my life. You know, this is not what the 25-year-old girl dreamt about. And so I got offered the opportunity, and I thought, you know, I'd be honest, I've done network marketing before. It didn't seem to work. I think it was because I didn't really work. And so I jumped in, and 3 years on, like, I was eventually able to quit Macca's, which was good. And, you know, I'm surrounded by just amazing women who, when I feel like I can't do it, they're the ones there cheering me on and saying that I can. You know, nobody has made me go any faster than I've been able to, or, you know, what I've because we're all on our own journey with this business, and nobody pushes you more than you want to be pushed. So, you know, if you want to be pushed, they'll push you. But if you feel like, you know, I'm not ready to be pushed, I need to do some more growing, then, you know, that there's space for you to do that as well. So I can honestly say, well, I haven't worked now like in an actual job for 2.5 years. So I get to pick my kids up from school. You know, I get to attend all of their events like sports day and all of those things. And, you know, I'm just here for them. I'm here when they leave for school. I'm here when they get back from school. I'm here to help with homework, play with them after school, whatever we want to do. And to me, that's what life balance is all about. And that's what this business has done for us.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for sharing. It's not always easy, you know, to go back to times when you probably weren't feeling quite as empowered, and to just share that with loads of strangers. So thanks. But it's been so nice. Like, I've met you through this business, and you are one of those people that every time I probably see you once a year when we go to conference, but I feel like every year over those 3 years, to see you each year, you're like a whole new person every year. But you're obviously still the same person with a wonderful heart, but you can see how much you've grown in your team, and it's really inspiring. So thanks.
Thank you.
And I have a few little questions for you, and I'm going to ask us all the same questions. We're talking about being empowered by women. So can you tell us about a woman in your life that you felt empowered by, or a woman that has got you, you know, helped you to be an empowered woman?
Oh, I think there's probably so many. I love Brene Brown. I love her, you know, about being vulnerable. I think sometimes as women, we tend to wear our masks too much because we're scared that if we show the world who we really are, that we'll be judged. And I love, you know, just the idea of like her teachings about vulnerability, and how vulnerability is actually empowering, because if we show the world who we are, then, you know, we're showing our truth, and we're giving other people permission to be who they are as well. So I love her stuff. And pretty much, I guess, any woman in this business is someone who I find empowering and inspiring. And, you know, because anytime that you feel down, there's someone out there that will pick you up and talk to you and help you and love on you. So, yeah.
Ah, that's great. Thanks, Beth. And one of the other things I was going to ask you as well was, have you always been an empowered woman? And I suppose you've talked about a few things there, but is there anything else you'd like to add to that question?
No, and I think that most people when they join Juice Plus, they say that it's a personal development business disguised as a business, and it's so true. The amount of growing the business has forced me to do, because whenever my business is plateaued, I've known it's because I've plateaued. So I've had to go and do something to grow myself, to get me to the next level, so that I can grow my business to the next level. And I mean, yeah, the growth, if you knew me 3 years ago to now, has been, you know, just tremendous.
It has. And then obviously, you know, we're talking about being in the Juice Plus business, and that we haven't even spoken about the products at all tonight. We might save that for another event. But I have to ask you, what's your favourite product and why?
It would be the premium, because the energy I felt after 2 weeks of being on that product, yep, it was amazing. And I somehow ran out of berries before I ran out of fruit and veggies. I'm not sure what I was doing with them. And I noticed a massive difference even without the berries. So I have to say, the trio together, I can't be without them.
Good. Thanks, Beck. And thank you so much for sharing again. Very, very good.
Thank you for inviting me.
That's all right. Now we might go over to the lovely Sophie Hughes. I'm going to just give me one sec, Beck. I'll just take you off there. And I will do this to you. There you go, Soph. Do you want to do a little intro on yourself and tell us your story?
Having a little glass of wine whilst I speak to you all. Hope that's all right.
Always.
So I have been in the business again for 3 years. I think me, Beck and Beck all joined at a similar time, or certainly got going at a similar time. So I had moved over from England. I was 22 at the time, and I was really struggling with a sense of identity. So I moved to be with my partner, who's Australian. And I don't know if you've ever moved interstate for a partner or, you know, moved for a job or anything like that, but I very quickly found myself in a place where I didn't really have a community here. I didn't really have a girl gang here. I didn't have, you know, that sort of army of women around me that were awake at the same time as me. Obviously, I still had my girls in the UK, but it was very different. And I was really looking for somewhere that I could fit in. So I didn't join the business for the money. I didn't join the business for the products. I joined the business just because I thought, oh, I could make some friends. And I went to an event in Sydney and met Miss Becky Robinson, and we got drunk together and had a great night. And I thought, oh, I've got a friend. And that was kind of what made me join. And ironically, that's what's made me stay. So fast track 3 years, I've just hit the pinnacle position in our company, and I've got, you know, 350 girls in the team who I've got amazing relationships with, so many of them, and I've really built that community around me. So it's kind of crazy that, you know, I joined for the community, and that is what's made me stay. Had a bit of a moment yesterday because we went, I was in a cafe having breakfast and working from a cafe, and I was just really overwhelmed with gratitude that it was a Wednesday morning, and I was able to sit in one of my favorite cafes with my laptop on a rainy day and run my business from there. And then in the afternoon, I went for a cocktail with a friend, and I just had this like dream day. And at the end of the day, I got to the end of the day and I was like, wow, like this is my life now. You know, this is what I get to do with my life. This is where I've been able to take it. I'm not that 22-year-old, you know, not shy, that's not the right word, but just kind of lost, I think is a more appropriate term for it. Lost young girl who just didn't have a clue what she wanted to do, and, you know, didn't have a community here, didn't have a purpose. And I've really found my purpose in Australia, built the business really strong, and I just love it. Absolutely love it.
You've massively grown, Sophie. You're another one like Beck. Like we said, we met that night in, God, I can't remember the name of the bar now, that are down in Darling Harbour. And I came along to one of the events, and you were there as well. And it seems so long ago, and I think that's because so much has happened since then. When it is probably 3 years, but to see you growing, like, and I'm probably nearly 10 years older than you, but like the reality is, it's all about your values. Our values align. We love being inspired by things. We love feeling passionate about things. We love meeting people that light us up. We've got no time for shit kickers and neg ferrets, and sorry for my language, and all of that. We don't get about 5 minutes of our airtime, and we're like, yeah, see ya, you're out. And we're very similar in that sense. And I think that having that positivity around you, and being able to pick the phone up and just get that buzz of energy from each other, and everybody I know that's on the call as well, it's that similar personality. And you have built, I think when I met you 3 years ago, you had about 2 people in your team, and you've got like 350, and it's amazing. You should be so proud of yourself. I love it. I love watching what you're doing and everything. It's fab. You've done so well.
It's just been so much fun as well, though. It's been 3 years of, you know, hard work. I won't lie to you girls that aren't in the business, but 3 years that, you know, I'd do it over and over again. If you took my business off me today, I'd just start again, because I've enjoyed it so much. I've grown so much as a person and just met the most incredible people on this journey. It's just been like so much fun. I can't believe that I've been able to build a business and have this much fun. It's just crazy.
Yeah. It is, and your life now, you're getting paid to have fun. I'm jealous. I'm nearly there. I'm close. I'm coming behind you. Watch out. Oh, thanks, Sophie. And then I'll ask you the same questions I asked Beck. So in terms of, you know, empowering women, empower women, who's empowered you to get you to being the empowered woman you are today?
Yeah, so I was just listening to Beck's answer, and mine's a little bit different. So mine's my mom, which is, you know, probably not the answer that you were expecting. I was thinking about who's really empowered me, and I thought, do I go for like a powerhouse woman who's up on stage in front of 10,000 people, like bam, 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 or do I go for my mom, who really is not a businesswoman, is not particularly confident, or, you know, if I put her on this call and told her to speak, she'd be like, but she's the most loving, generous, like she's my biggest cheerleader. And if I'm ever in any doubt of my capabilities, my abilities in the business or in life, she's always there to remind me that I am capable and that I can do it. And I think having a woman like that behind me throughout my life has just been incredible. Having someone who just loves you no matter what, and, you know, always believes in you, and you don't believe in yourself, is so important. And I think that's really sort of moved me into where I'm at with my team in terms of loving on them, because it encourages me to be like that with my team, because I know how much I've grown through having a woman like that behind me. So it's like I've become their biggest cheerleader in a way.
taking on all your little babies. You become a mum. Mother hen. Oh no, that's really nice, and mine's probably the same actually. And then, you know, we ask, have you always been an empowered woman? And as you said, you were probably a little bit lost a few years ago, but how would you answer that question?
Yeah, definitely not. I think it's funny actually, because I was having to think today about the answers to the questions that you'd sent, and I was going to say about the, you know, personal development degree disguised as a business, and that is truly what this is. Like, I think it's a line that we all use all the time, and when you first come into the business, you're like, okay, weirdos, and then 3 years down, you're like, oh my god, I'm not that same little girl that I was 3 years ago. Like, I have grown so much, and I think it was always my biggest excuse in the business that I didn't have a mentor above me who was like a powerhouse woman. I never had that powerhouse above me, and that's what I felt like I needed, because I was a bit lost and I needed guidance. And I used that as an excuse for so long, and I let that hold me back for so long. And the minute I kind of was like, okay, you know what, I'm just going to step into it and I'm just going to be that powerhouse, I'm just going to go for it, I'm just going to be that empowered woman, because what have I got to lose? Everything changed. So no, I definitely was not always empowered, but certainly feel very empowered now, and continue to grow with that as well, and, you know, continue to put effort into self-development and personal development, because it's just so important.
Yeah, it is. Oh, thank you, Soph. And then obviously, same question for you. What's your favourite product and why?
Oh, I do love the premiums, of course, but I think the Chocky shakes for me. So I have a Chocky shake every morning for breakfast, our vegan protein shakes that we have. I'm like obsessed with the chocolate flavour. The fact that I can have chocolate for breakfast is like, what? So I have a Chocky shake for breakfast every morning, and that's been a real game changer for me, because I was the sort of person who used to get up at 8-9 o'clock, have a coffee, and then still be running on that same coffee at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and go, oh crap, I've not eaten anything. And it's just not really, and then I'd eat like everything in the world between 2 and 10, which of course is not a healthy way to live. So for me to get up and, you know, have protein in my body straight away and get into a much healthier routine, the Chocky shakes have been fab, and they're absolutely delicious. I love them.
Yeah, I must admit, I'm a right chocoholic. They take the edge off for me as well. They're good. Thank you, so thanks for your time, lovey. Talk to you later. And I think might take you over to the lovely Wednesday now. Let me just work out how to do my little spotlight. Getting good at this, aren't I?
Is mine actually working?
Yes,
I keep getting
I can hear you and I can see you.
Freeze frame.
No, you're good.
I can
I
hear
love.
everything, but everybody keeps freezing on me, so I just get these gorgeous screenshots of you on the
You're good so far. Wednesday, would you like to share your story with us, love?
Yeah, sure. So I have probably been in the business 13 months. The reason I joined was kind of by accident, but then also kind of because I guess I'm a bit of a jack of all trade. If someone offers me something, I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll qualify in that, do that. And I really liked the idea that it had international potential. So at the time I was in Abu Dhabi. And I was kind of bored in my job. We'd already decided that we were going to be leaving Abu Dhabi and moving either back to Europe or to Australia. Bit different, I know, but we were working visas out at the time. So similarly, I guess to you, Soph, because I've traveled so much, I've never been in one area. So I've never developed huge groups of friends. I've always had one or two close friends wherever I've gone, but I've never been part of a group. So started the products obviously myself. A bit of background on that, I guess, and it's quite funny actually, because it's something that I scrutinized for a long time. What is it? Let me do my research. But I would sit at home and eat chocolate and McDonald's and all of those things without caring what was inside them. Gave it a go, and within a couple of weeks, the acne that I'd had from about the age of 14 disappeared. And I was already a believer in you are what you eat, so I don't know why it took me so long on that journey to kind of give it a go. But then obviously people saw my results as well, were asking what I was doing, and that was when Becky suggested, you know, I'm quite happy to take all of these people as customers, but are you interested in starting the business for yourself? And it coincided perfectly. I was just about to leave Abu Dhabi. We were going back to Europe for a couple of months before coming over to Australia. And the fact that I was going to be talking to people, seeing old friends, seeing family again, and kind of go on this journey whilst I was moving around these countries. It just really highlighted, I guess, what the potential was to be successful in this space. I can remember the first time, I guess, it really registered fully is when I was on vacation in Japan, processing an order. Like, this is really weird. I'm on vacation in Japan, sat down processing orders. But it's something that I've really enjoyed and continue to enjoy. So, and it has opened those doors that a few of you have mentioned. I have met more girls, more groups, and I'm really enjoying the journey.
Oh, good. And I think what's really interesting is if we look along like the list of who's spoken tonight, Beck talks about her, having to take that step back and, go and do the Macca's job and that. But she's a mom and she's got her hands full with a beautiful family. Sophie's a model and, working sometimes hand to mouth. I think you should get paid for amazing jobs and sometimes it might be a gap and all of that side of things. You've got a full-time, really serious corporate job. You're a HR manager for a big company. You got a big job, love. But I think that's important to know because I think people tend to think we're doing this because we haven't got another job. And I think it's really important to point that out as well. And you fit it in around work.
Absolutely. And I think, yes, exactly. I think but it kind of gets addictive. And actually, Soph, I remember you saying one time, you were at work and you're trying to sneak out and reply to messages. And I'm exactly the same. I'm like, I don't want to wait 4 hours to do that, reply to this. But it definitely, I think it kind of supports that role because I got into HR for the same reason. I enjoy people. I like communicating, advising and developing the business at the same time while working with our colleagues. So the ethos behind both kind of support one another. And yeah, it's not, I'm not in a position where I don't think I will ever want to give up working in HR. It's something really that I enjoy, but I do see that this is something that can enhance that experience as well. So
thanks, Lily. And I'll ask you the same questions I asked to the girls as well. Who would you say is a woman that has enabled you to feel empowered?
I had a couple of answers for this, and then surprisingly the one I'm going to give is somebody that I've only just discovered in the last couple of months, but she's made quite an impact on me, and it's Sheryl Sandberg. I don't know if I'm pronouncing
No, I'll write that down.
Right. But she's actually, she is the COO of Facebook, previously with Google. She writes a series and actually she runs female empowerment groups. And the concept that she came up with is about leaning in. So there are a lot of women in whatever situation that they're in, tend to lean back. They don't sit forward at the table. They'll quite happily just listen and observe to what's going on. And she's encouraging women, and reading her book as well, Lean In, gives hundreds of examples where she herself had realized that if she wanted to develop her career in whichever path that was going to be, that she was going to have to develop her confidence and lean in more and let her voice be heard. And I think it resonates a lot of what she has to say. I mean, our situations are completely different. She's married with children, and she's still the COO of Facebook. But yeah, she just has some really nice, empowering thoughts, and she's really doing her bit for females. So
yeah, cool. And she's obviously massive in the corporate space in terms of the work she's doing as well. Big job, big family, and doing all of that. I'll have a look at her Wednesday. I recognise her name when you said it, but I couldn't place her. So yeah, that would be it. New CEO of Facebook. I never have Facebook. Probably
the thing that I think that she highlights the most, and I guess is kind of, we can see across this call as well, is that no one woman fits, there's no one woman to fit the space. You need to lean in with who you are. Yeah. You need to come to the table with your ideas, and that's where and she went on maternity leave and went straight back to work because that's what she wanted to do and that's what worked for her. But if you want to take 1 year off, or if you never want to go back to work, that's also okay. It's just about women supporting other women, that the empowerment comes from choice. It's when you pigeonhole people that the empowerment disappears, where you have certain expectations that a woman should behave like this or should behave like that. A woman should behave how makes her happy.
I like that. How can we get her on one of these?
But yeah,
but it's so true.
really
It's like you said, you empower each other by just supporting your decision, whatever your decision is. I've always come from a place of no judgment, and I think that's it. It's a big start, isn't it? Thanks, that one. So that's brilliant. And the question I asked the other girls: have you always been an empowered woman?
Absolutely. I would say no, but at the same time, I can't particularly picture a point when it maybe happened. I think definitely going, there was a difference between being at high school, college, university, and then actually starting to travel. I think that's probably where I felt more empowered. I was making more decisions by myself. I was resilient in a number of different situations. I was independent, and I think all of these things probably contributed. But yeah, not always, definitely not.
That's right. And what about products, Lovey? What's your favourite product?
I'm gonna have to go with the premiums as well. And literally, it just turned my life around. 15 years with acne is not a fun time. So to find something that's whole food based and had those results was phenomenal.
I remember you saying to me, will this help with my acne? And I was like, I don't know, but I think so. It might. I don't know. Like, the pressure. Because you kind of had it on the line, like, I don't know, but you might as well try because it's only food.
Right? Exactly.
Like, it's working. No, thanks, that's ace. And I think most of us would agree that the capsules are like a non-negotiable in our lives now. Thank you, Wednesday. That's fab. Thanks so much, Lovey. I will pop you back on mute. You can chill out a little bit. I'm going to spotlight myself. Tranny makeup. Right. So I'll give you my story very briefly as well. Most of you know me anyway, but I suppose in terms of who I am outside of my Juice Plus business, I'm a recruiter. I've been doing recruitment for about 6 years. I recruit in the charity space. So for me, in terms of feeling empowered already, I work in, and I'm actually really, really lucky that my corporate job is in a business with a female CEO, a female NMD. I'm actually staying at my CEO's house as well. She could possibly appear. But CEO is a female, the MD is a female, all the team leaders are females, and the majority of the staff. I think we've got 2 guys in the whole business. So in terms of coming from a female empowerment space, I'm very, very used to that. Although it's never something that's pushed internally in our business. You're doing your job. It doesn't matter that you're a man or you're a woman. You're doing your job, and you're doing your job well. And the ethos of the business and the value of the business, which is why I've stayed there so long, I suppose, is that it's all about people first. And when I found Juice Plus and joined the business in that sense, that was something else that aligned with my values. And we are in a day and age where it's they talk to you about happiness, and the way to find happiness is to align your values. And that's in everything. That's with your partner, your friends, your side business, your full-time business, your corporate business. Whatever decision you make, if you want your values, you come to the right answer. So my corporate job, my 9-to-5 job, absolutely aligns with those values and is full of female empowerment for me. But doing the Juice Plus side of things, like I said right at the start there, the reason I haven't left this business after 3 years and why I've continued to do it is because of the women I've met along the way and the empowerment. And that belief in you before you believe in yourself is massive in this business. And when you doubt yourself, when you're not having a great week or a great month and you think, oh, is this for me? You do. And then all of a sudden some fairy godmother appears around the corner and like, come on, well, let's do it. And you do it together and you do it as a team. And then you see results. You've not really changed a huge amount apart from your attitude. And that's all about empowerment. And I love that. So I think for me, yeah, the empowerment side of things for me personally, it's that self-development journey that the girls talked about and how I've come along. And it's also about, working with other people to help them feel empowered. We talk a lot in this business about finding your tribe. Obviously, Sophie covered her tribe. For me, like the people I want to work with and I really love working with are those people who are feeling a little bit lost or feeling like they've got so much more to give, but they don't know what it is. So they're doing great in their job, they're a great mum, or they're a great whatever they are, but there's that hole and there's that thing that needs filling. And that's because for me, that business filled the hole for me. So that's the sort of people I love to work with. So I find that quite empowering. And What else was I going to even type? I'm babbling on, sorry. And then in terms of I'll probably answer the same questions I answered the girls. So a woman who's empowered me, Sophie, I'm with you all the way. My mum, my God, I won't even go into the long story of my lovely council estate childhood, but my mother, like, what an absolute angel and what a rock. You know, she's exactly the same as Sophie. If I asked her to speak, she's very, very shy. She wouldn't talk in public or anything like that. But taught me resilience, taught me strength, taught me persistence, and that's got me to where I am today. And I think that empowerment from a very young age, that you do not accept any less than what you're worth, has got me to where I am now, and I'm proud of that. I don't care if I sound like a big head. I love it and I'm happy about it. Have I always been an empowered woman? Probably thought I was most of my life, but in reality, no. Not really. That's definitely been a learning curve the last couple of years. That exactly what Wednesday covered there, that leaning in with your true authentic self, and actually Beck covered it with the Brené Brown stuff, that showing your vulnerability and talking the truth and not just putting your mask on and saying what you think people want to hear. That's been a whole learning curve, probably since I hit 30. It was like wisdom landed on me overnight, but that's where my empowerment journey started. And products, oh my God, it's such a tough one. We haven't got a huge amount of products. We've got our capsules, which absolutely love, taking for, never skipped a day in about 3 years, and I think I once forgot to take them on holiday. Yes, skin and energy for me, massive impact. The shakes, yes, so if I'm a chocoholic, so they take away my 2 o'clock curb. And we've also got our Amigas. None of us have said they're our favourite yet, but they've only been out for 2 months. We're probably not that confident to say it yet. We can't cheat on our other products, but we've got our Amigas too, which are vegan friendly. So loads of my customers would say they're their favourite product, because they're getting to get all their Amigas in without having to eat meat, which is awesome for so many people. I think we've covered everything. I think everybody's shared their empowerment stories. I might unmute you all, and if anyone's got any questions or anything they want to add, I think we've got a few minutes left. If anybody has got more questions about the business, how it all works, just go back to the person who invited you on the call. They'll be happy to talk to you tonight or another night or whenever. I'm unmuting you all, so you might have a noisy background, so I'm sorry. But if anyone's got any questions, I'll unpin myself as well. We've got a few minutes. You can raise your hands, we might see you. Oh, hello, Wednesday. I've got you on the spotlight still. There we go. All right, if anyone's got any questions, shout up. It might just grab you. The spotlight will probably pick you up. Was everybody all good? Silence. I think that's a good thing. All right, ladies. Well, thanks so much for giving me half an hour of your time. I hope you feel a bit empowered. I hope you've heard something that resonates with you somewhere along the way. We're all on Facebook. Follow any of the girls that have excited you in terms of what they're doing. Follow them, see what they're up to. It's nice to see every day all their empowering statuses. There's no negativity in our world. So come and get involved. All right, ladies. Night, night. Thank you so much all for your time.
Thanks, Beck.
Bye.